Welcome to the Nevis Newscast. Today is Friday, January 12th, 2018. I am Bronte Swanston Hendrickson. Urologist Dr. Dwayne Thwaites is issuing a call for men in St. Kitts and Nevis around the age of 40 and older to take advantage of the free prostate screening being offered tomorrow, Saturday, 13th January, at the Occasions Entertainment Center. Dr. Thwaites was interviewed by the Department of Information at the Alexandra Hospital earlier today, where he spoke about the statistics from the 2017's prostate screenings.
Last year, we had a decline in the participation. We were down to, I think it's 578 last year. The year before that, we had 622. We picked up about, out of those 570, we had about 2% of the that group with prostate cancer, and we had about maybe about 7 or 8% of the total group with abnormalities.
Dr. Thwaites, however, stated that over the past 10 years of hosting the screenings, there has been a decrease in abnormalities in patients. Dr. Brian Cohen, who is also a urologist, will be a part of the team for tomorrow's screening. He spoke about the process after abnormalities are detected.
After we identify the abnormalities, whether it's with their prostate exam or with the PSA test, which is a blood test, then they typically are contacted and they follow up with Dr. Thwaites in his clinic. The next step usually is a prostate biopsy in order to look for prostate cancer at that point in time.
Dr. Thwaites urged persons whose family have a history of prostate cancer or are at the age to be tested to get their testing done as early as possible, as early detection saves lives.
The ones that we see late-stage prostate cancer in, and it's always a big surprise to the guys who feel very good, feel they're healthy, who have never come to screening, and then all of a sudden they come in and they realize that their PSAs are elevated. Not incidentally, but on occasions we do find some younger patients with prostate cancer. We've had 1 or 2 patients who have come in who are 35 who were picked up with prostate cancer since we've been doing it.
According to the urologist, the tests take a maximum of 3 minutes to be completed, and they are encouraging persons to go and get tested. Dr. Daniel Caruso and Dr. Tasha Cook are also part of the 4 specialists who would be doing the testing tomorrow, beginning at 8 a.m. at the Occasions Entertainment Center. Registration opens at 3 a.m. The team expressed their gratitude to the various sponsors of the event for their generous donations. The Honorable Mark Brantley will be the keynote speaker at this Sunday's annual luncheon put on by Hearts and Hands for Nevis Incorporated. This will be Mr. Brantley's first official trip as the newly elected Premier of Nevis.
I have had the honor of being invited by the Hearts and Hands in New York for the 19th annual luncheon, which will be at the LaGuardia, the Marriott LaGuardia. And we hope to be there in Elmhurst, New York, to have a conversation. It is for me a distinct honor and pleasure to be in New York with members of our diaspora. As we like to say, members of our diaspora are part and parcel of us. They happen to be living in New York and in New Jersey and other parts there, but the truth be told, that they remain an integral part of us. And our job as a government is to bridge that physical divide, that ocean that divides us, and to say that at the end of the day, we are all one Nevis, we are all Nevisians, and we welcome their contribution. And so for me, it is very important to be there with them, and I thank them for the invitation.
Hearts and Hands for Nevis is a non-profit organization dedicated to positively affecting the lives of Nevisians and friends through service with integrity and excellence.
They will at that time be honoring the Honorable Earl Swanson, the Honorable Marjorie Morton, and the late Proline Liebert, 3 people who have given tremendous service to the people of Nevis.
The Hearts and Hands for Nevis's 19th annual luncheon is slated for 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. on Sunday, January 14th at the LaGuardia Airport Marriott in New York. The Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of Dominica, the Honorable Roosevelt Skerritt, has expressed his gratitude to the government and people of St. Kitts and Nevis for the substantial humanitarian contributions provided to his country in the aftermath of Hurricane Maria. Shortly after the hurricane pummeled Dominica on September 18, 2017, the government of St. Kitts and Nevis responded to the needs of the neighboring Caribbean island by pledging $1 million to assist in its recovery and rebuilding efforts. St. Kitts and Nevis also opened up the Robert L. Bradshaw International Airport for use as a staging platform for relief efforts into Dominica. In addition to this, all 4 hospitals on St. Kitts and Nevis were made available for the provision of health services. Moreover, displaced students in Dominica who were registered for upcoming CXC exams were offered free enrollment in schools in St. Kitts and Nevis so that they can continue their educational pursuits. In a letter of appreciation to St. Kitts and Nevis's Prime Minister, the Honorable Dr. Timothy Harris, Prime Minister Skerritt, said the dispatch of officers of the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force for security duties and the contributions of materials and supplies by the private and public sectors of St. Kitts and Nevis have been invaluable contributions to Dominica's emergency response in the aftermath of the hurricane. He also thanked the people of St. Kitts and Nevis for opening their homes to Dominican families seeking temporary relocation following the devastating effects of the hurricane. The Dominican Prime Minister further stated that St. Kitts and Nevis's response to the needs of his people personifies the true nature of the Caribbean people. Prime Minister Skerritt continued, importantly, personal expressions of concern at the situation in Dominica have served to reinforce the confidence that as small states and as CARICOM member states, we confront our challenges together, and as problematic as they are, natural disasters as Hurricane Maria also serve to strengthen our affinity and hence the Caribbean family. Still to come, NIA announces free OAS development training course for educators. The details after this break.
Hello, my name is Culturama, the Caribbean's greatest summer line. Most islands have their festival annually, but they call it Carnival. With all those shows, we fete and fun. We party from sun up to sundown. Everybody come now, show the world what we mean when we talk about Culturama. Rocks up, rocks up. Coming down early to be morn. Rocks up, rocks up, flags up, flags up. Time to jump up in the band.
Welcome back. Education officers in the Department of Education on Nevis now have a better understanding of their roles and responsibilities following a 3-day training workshop hosted by the Department of Education from Wednesday 10th to Friday 12th January. The workshop, Education Officers Appraisal for Growth and Development Program, is designed to prepare the officers for the implementation of the Education Sector Plan 2017 to 2021 for St. Kitts and Nevis, which was launched in December 2017. At the opening ceremony held on January 10th, Kevin Barrett, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Education on Nevis, underscored the importance of the training.
Because we are so much involved in change, and because we are so much involved in securing our future, or the future for our students and future leaders, training is very, very important, very essential, and I'm happy that at this point, at this early part of 2018, having already outlined the objectives for this sector plan, that this training is happening. And I had in some discussions with Mrs. Wilkin that this is just the first part, because there are other stakeholders that also need that training if we are to effectively roll out this education sector plan. The execution of our education sector plan will depend heavily on what you learn today and what you will impart to our teachers, principals, and eventually the students.
In her remarks, Principal Education Officer Palsy Wilkin outlined the significance of the training to the successful implementation of the education plan.
On December 11th, 2017, we launched our Education Sector Plan 2017 to 2021 under the theme Education for All, Embracing Change, Securing the Future. If we are to work towards realizing that goal, then we must prepare ourselves as a ministry and as a Department of Education for that change which must come about. This must come through training. Training at different levels in our organization. As education officers, our roles are extremely important, pivotal for that matter.
This workshop was facilitated by Dr. Judy Brown, International Training and Development Consultant.
So the overall aim is to empower education officers and education principals, should have capital P, to support the culture change that we're presently going through. So we're going to start that with a clarity of roles and responsibilities.
The workshop was held at the Nevis Disaster Management Department Conference Room. Meantime, a collaborative, cost-free development training course is being offered to educators by the Organization of American States, OAS. The Nevis Island Administration Human Resources Department informs that human development, education, and employment of the Executive Secretariat for Integral Development has launched the 3rd edition of the Inter-American Teacher Education Network free course. The course, titled Critical Thinking in Action, Sustainable Energy in the Science Classroom, is for secondary level school teachers. Its goal is to promote the teaching of critical thinking in students in the sciences and related subjects. The course material was developed within the framework of the Energy and Climate Partnership of the Americas of the Department of Sustainable Development. Successful participants will earn a certificate of completion issued by the Organization of American States, OAS. Interested persons may register using this link on your screen. The deadline for registration is January 21st, 2018. The following is a distribution system upgrade advisory from the Nevis Electricity Company Limited, NEVLEC. Consumers are advised to take note of the schedule of outages for the upcoming week. Sunday, January 14th, 2018, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. The areas to be affected are Happy Hill Drive and areas in close proximity to facilitate upgrade services in the area. Wednesday, January 17th, 2018, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. The areas to be affected are Pond Hill, parts of Claygut, Horatio Heights, Beaumont, and areas in close proximity to facilitate maintenance of poles and lines. Customers are advised to take every precaution to safeguard electrical equipment at all times of interruption and restoration to the electrical supply. NEVLEC apologizes for the inconvenience that may be caused by these outages and remind customers that in each case, service may be delayed to later than the time specified. For additional information, call NEVLEC's Customer Service Office at 469-7243, 469-7245, or 662-5799. Its emergency service at 469-9100 or 662-5811. And that brings us to the end of this edition of the Nevis Newscast. I am Bronte Swanston Hendrickson. Thank you for viewing.